Hey guys, just this week, Jason wrote to me and said, hey, can you tell me how to safely take off a PPK grip without cracking or breaking it? And I thought, well, that's a pretty elementary question, but I have to tell you, there's been at least a dozen people just this year who have asked me the same exact question. So I'm going to show you how to safely remove a PPK grip, but then also for some of you more experienced collectors who begin to yawn and fall asleep with this demonstration, I've got some cool guns to show you at the same time. Come check them out. Okay, here's a not a standard PPK. See, I decided to jazz it up a little bit. It's not, I didn't want to just show you any old PPK, but this is a party leader PPK with a grip that's worth anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000. So if you mess this up, it's a huge expense out of your pocket. Also, we have a box mag here, beautiful gun. So I thought while I'm demonstrating, I might as well ooh and ah some of you. But the reason people ask about the PPK grip is because it's one of the few guns that have a one-piece grip. Most American weapons and even the German weapons, you'll see two grip panels and all you do is unscrew it and pop it off. But the one-piece grip can be a little bit tricky. And that led me to think, well, what else is there? Of course, there's the Czech CZ27. It's a one-piece grip, and you can use the same principles to remove this one that I'm about to show you. But again, just to wow you a little bit, this one, they are mostly Waffen Eagle 73 stamped here and on the top, but this one is a pretty rare Police Eagle K. And the Police Eagle K CZ is pretty rare. This one is even more special because it has one matching mag, actually number one, but there's a matching mag, a second matching mag, and a police holster that is also matching. So two mags, matching holster, rarely seen, but all that is to say it also comes with a one-piece grip that you have to be careful in taking off. And then finally, most of you would think of the model 1914 or the model 1934 Mauser. This has a one-piece grip as well, and you'll use the same principles to get that off. These are a little bit easier, and you'll see why, but there's more of a gap here and more of a gap here. On the PPK, it's probably one of the hardest ones to do. This one is Navy marked, and not German Nazi Navy, but this is from the Weimar period. That's a Weimar Eagle, M for Marine or Navy in German. And this is from the Weimar era. So I just wanted to show you them for a wow factor. And now, Jason, I'm going to get to it. Here's how we take off the grip. So the truth is, at least a third out of every 10 guns that where I take off the grip, 3 of them on the PPK are going to give me trouble. And I will tell you, I have spent at least a half an hour trying to get a grip off. And this one I picked randomly. I wanted to do a party leader, again, for the wow factor. And I don't think I ever took this grip off. In fact, I'm sure I never took this grip off because when before I was going to demonstrate to you, I just wanted to make sure I could do it. And lo and behold, I struggled and struggled and finally got it off. And inside, I found dried, just hard, solid grease. Somebody had greased it and put the grip on there. And of course, over time, and it can take 10 years, that grease turns into almost like glue. So trying to get that off, this is a good demonstration because it's hard to get it off without hurting the grip at all. So first you want to remove the magazine. You have to remove the magazine because it does get in the way. So I'm just going to set that aside. I have a couple simple tools that I'm going to show you how I use them. But Walther also provided one of these in the box. This tool is useful. It doesn't come with the gun, but if you buy a box gun with all the accessories, they will have one of these cleaning rods, and the tip of it you can use. I'll show you how you can use that. But typically you don't have one of these. You need 2 tools that look like this. All right, step 1, we're going to take the screw out. Now, that's fairly simple. If you don't know how to take out a screw, you shouldn't be collecting guns. Get your wife to do it for you. Now, taking the screw off, and by the way, the only horrible problem you have with these is when the screw is stripped or this escutcheon is loose so that it rusts in here, and this one was a little bit rusted because it hadn't been cleaned in a long time. If this is rusted and you start turning it, then the escutcheon starts to turn with it. and then you're in trouble, because once that escutcheon is loose, you don't have any resistance and you can't get the screw out. That's a fatal error in terms of there's no way to get that out without drilling it out. Now, I take it to my gunsmith, but I've also used a machinist. You just need somebody with a really small drill bit. You drill right through and get that screw out. This rarely happens. I'd say 1 out of 100, I have to drill them out. And then you can just buy a new screw and escutcheon. They're available on eBay. I have a couple extra sets. But this one was one of the ones that was difficult to unscrew. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I loosen it enough to pull that out. There's the screw. There is a little metal piece here, but the most important part is this escutcheon here. Now, on very early PPKs, I'd say in the 700,000 range, the screw head went from left to right. It went in like this, but then after that, don't know why they switched it. From then on, they always go from right to left. Doesn't matter, but for those of you who collect these and wonder and say, why is mine backwards? That just means it's an early grip, and they actually can be a little more valuable because there's fewer of them. All right, so that's the escutcheon that I talk about, and if that comes loose, as you turn it, it'll just keep going around, and the more you turn it around, the more it strips it inside. All right, now all we do, most times, I can just pull this back. In this case, it doesn't budge. I can't, you know, I don't want to get a vice grip and pull on it, but this doesn't budge, and so it's a good example to show you. All I want to do is just get a little gap on the bottom. There we go. I pulled that out on the bottom. I pulled that out a little bit. Remember when I said these are a little easier because of the gap? Because what I do is I take a screwdriver, and even if, let's just get a really small gap. Let me cut some of that. All right, you see that? All I have is a really tiny gap right there. And then I just take my screwdriver. Now, you don't want to pry up because you don't want to crack this. So you just want to come straight back. I take this and I just pull straight back. It is going up. There it goes. See that? And then once I get it far enough out, it tends to come off. You want to go down a little bit and then straight out. You did see me wiggling. Now see that brown in there, all in here? That was just like glue. It was dried grease, and that's why it was stuck. So then you clean everything up, and that's one of the reasons why would anybody take it off. You do want to clean it up, no damage here. It does have the metal insert. It's a real party leader grip, very expensive. Now we want to get it back on. It doesn't go straight on like this. You've got this sticking out. Oh, these do warp. So you can see how they're flayed a little bit at the top. The tops usually warp. Again, over the years, these are cold, hot, cold, hot. They expand, contract. So that's why they almost always will be a little bit warped, and then they're thinner in here. So this big part, I want to get that in. That actually popped in pretty easily. But now you want to line up the holes, and that can take you a while. So I use my trusty ice pick, and I just center it. There we go, it popped. I could hear it pop into place. I just center it by doing that. Now this does not work on this side, so I generally don't do that, but interestingly, this cleaning rod is just fit perfectly to line this side up too. So this is not necessary, but it's a big help to line it up on this side and line it up on this side, and then the screw pops in. Goes all the way down, and then obviously just screw it down. Now, I try to hold this end. I don't want to push the escutcheon out and then have it start spinning. Remember, I don't want to strip these. And by the way, if you drill them out, and if you use an old one, I have a lot of old ones, but they're all stripped. So it's probably better to just buy a new one, but reusing these old screws, the threads are often stripped, and it just makes it, you know, once they're stripped, it's really hard to get on and off. So it's a delicate process, but that's how it's done. Now, just because we have a little more time while I'm at it, how do I take off this slide? I have probably shown this before, but you pull this, you just pull this trigger guard down. This is actually a price tag, but I just want to put this in here. You can use a business card. but you pull that down and put a card in there, and then you go back and up, and there's the slide. There is the last 3 digits here will be inscribed in here. They are often very hard to read. In fact, I can't even show you this one because it was so hard to read. It took 2 lights and a magnifying glass to find the little chicken scratch, as I call it. But that's how you take the slide off as well, safely, easily. Pull this back, down, and get rid of the paper. Put the box mag back in. Oh, you know what I didn't show you? You probably want to see the holster that came with it. There's the party leader holster. Look at that nice party leader marking up here. And we open it up. You can barely see the PPK inside. Here's a spare magazine. It should be Walther banner only. And it is, actually it's Walther banner with the caliber, which is probably a year or 2 late for this gun. But that's okay. We'll put that in there. It's not hard to find a Walther banner. There's the gun. We just swapped out the grip. It's all done. Hey, I hope you learned something from this. I enjoyed doing it for you. And keep those questions coming. And wherever possible, I will try to give you an answer. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel if you want to see really fun content like this.